Hey everybody, thanks for joining me on this wonderful lecture about accountability, which is something that we all seem to be lacking and needing. Accountability is such a great tool to have underneath your belt when you are trying to really accomplish anything in your life that you may have found difficult. So one of the biggest things that I work with clients is about transforming the body, getting healthy, and living a healthy lifestyle. And all of those things require change, and change is not comfortable for a lot of us. And because it's not comfortable for a lot of us, we tend to resist a lot. And with that resistance comes, well, sometimes disappointment and sometimes comes accomplishments. But most of the times, I think we feel more that we are disappointed in our progress of where we are going, say, for example, weight loss. And this is why I wanted to bring up the topic about accountability because I think it's such an amazing tool to help you guys achieve your goals. And I'm going to show you different types of accountability systems that you can use, different ways that you can do it, and why, and just prove to you why accountability really does work. And I'll show you some statistics as well on the accountability on how it's actually changed people's lives. So let's get on here. What is accountability? Accountability literally just means you being responsible. And so by being responsible, that literally means that you need to take actions on what you have decided to do. So if you've decided to transform your body, you decided to eat healthier and lose weight, and maybe just drink more water, or just simple things that are going to help you get to your goal, then you need to have a sense of responsibility behind that. And that's what accountability all is. And sometimes you can use accountability in a good way or in a bad way. So a positive kind of force or a negative force. So a positive force would be something like, okay, I'm going to hold myself accountable to make sure that I eat all my vegetables every single day of the week. And the positive accountability form for me is that if I accomplish that, then I am going to, I don't know, I'm going to go get my nails done because I haven't got them done in a really long time, right? And that's something maybe that you really enjoy doing. So you have used your responsibility and your accountability tool to help you achieve something, but then you get something really positive in return when you achieve it. And something negative would be something like, I'm going to eat all my vegetables. And if I don't eat my vegetables in 1 week, then I am going to do something that makes me feel really uncomfortable. Like, for example, for some people, going in a two-piece swimsuit makes people feel really uncomfortable. So they would do that and say, go to the leisure park, right, with their family and be in a two-piece swimsuit. So a little bit of pain punishment, but it really helps a lot of people on that point because when it hurts more, you are more prone to um, go through and follow through with the responsibilities that you have set up for yourself. So accountability just really much means being accountable and being responsible for your goals, but ultimately being answerable for your actions as well. So being accountable means more than just telling yourself to do something, but you really have to take action towards that. So why is accountability just so important? I mean, we keep hearing this over and over again where people are just more successful, like in a setting of a community where they're doing a challenge, or when you go to a group setting of fitness, or when you pair up with a buddy and a girlfriend. And these people just seem to be more successful. And the biggest reason why is because you have the benefit of the accountability system where you don't really feel lost and you feel like you're part of something really big, bigger than yourself. And even though, we should be thinking of ourselves as a very grand prize, we as women specifically are harder on ourselves than any other type of human being because we are always picking and not satisfied with what we have. And so when we have somebody else achieving these accomplishments with us, we just feel more in harmony. We feel like we have a partner, we have a crime partner, that we have someone to look forward to, and that they're going through the same situations that you are. And so when you have that system in place, it just makes you feel stronger, more invincible, and it actually keeps you to proceed a little bit longer, and for some people, a lifetime into this healthy journey. So that's why it's so important. And the American Psychology Association actually did test and showed that participants who enrolled in weight loss programs with their friends just did a better job of keeping the weight off long term versus somebody who just did it by themselves. It's just so much easier to not hold yourself accountable. When you have that system in place, when you have an accountability system in place, it's difficult to not be honest with the other end. That's why accountability is so important. So we're going to go into the top reasons why it works, and there's a lots of reasons on the slideshow that I have here for you. But I'm going to tell you from personal experience of why I believe it works, and why it has worked so well with my clients, but has worked well with me specifically. So I have decided to do the Fitness Female competition this year. This is my first competition that I finally decided I'm going to do, which I'm so excited about, but I'm very nervous about too, because there's a lot of transition that I'm going to be going through that I'm not really excited about. So for number one, I've always been a person that never really had a great metabolism, and I know in the back of my mind that I need to increase my metabolism. And I have been doing that every year. I've been eating more. I've been exercising a little bit harder. I've been really taking care of myself to slowly increase the amount of calories I'm supposed to be eating, because I had a lot of eating disorders when I was a lot younger. And I have decided to actually hire a coach for this, because it is really difficult for me to hold myself accountable, just because I am an extreme person. So if I don't see the results that I want, I will go way off to the extremes, and I will probably hurt myself more, and pretty much live off nothing by the time I actually have to shred down all that body fat for the day on stage. So I know my right mental state that I should not be my coach. I could definitely be other people's coaches, because there's just no emotions involved in it. Like, I'm emotionally involved with my client, but the results are not mine, right? So that's what makes the biggest difference, when someone can look from the outside in into your situation and help you make wise decisions versus emotional decisions. So so that's the reason why I hired a coach, because I know I needed that. And even though I'm a coach, doesn't mean that I don't need to be coached, because I need that accountability. So for me, it really helps me to know that there's somebody else there that is going to hold my hand when I need to, because I will break down and cry, and I will fall apart, and I will have cravings and cave in, just like you guys do. It helps to know that there's somebody else out there besides my knowledge that has probably greater knowledge than I do, to help me get through my plateaus and help me get through the tough parts where I have never encountered before. Because, like I said, I've been trying slowly myself to increase my metabolism, but this is going a little bit faster than, than maybe I'm used to. So I'm definitely seeing a lot of changes very quickly, and I'm not very comfortable with that. But I have her to go back on, and she just, allows me to understand like what's really happening internally in my body. So same thing that I do with my clients is that when my clients aren't really seeing the results, I need to get them to understand that these are changes that are happening hormonally, and that these are the steps that we need to go through in order for them to be successful in long term, right? And so it's important to have that. Also, too, the accountability works, because you have someone to give you tips and maybe recipes, things where you get stuck at, right? Because especially like me, I love to have a little bit of a rotation in my diet. I don't like to eat the same things all the time, but I do find that when I stick with something that I do like, it just turns out to be better for me, and it's less stress than me just trying to make something every day. So you have a little bit of that information pulling through from other angles other than just yourself. And then also too, building a lasting relationship. So a lot of the accountability that you can get are from complete strangers, from like say a community group or a challenge. And maybe you've never met some people there, and you're going to meet some amazing people, because changing your environment around you is really important, especially with the people that we hang around with. A lot of times what happens is the people that we actually hang around with are pretty much our roadblocks. Like, those are the ones that are, bringing in junk food on the weekend, or they're bringing in, too much wine, on the table and stuff like that. And we find it really hard to resist. And so sometimes changing our environment really helps us achieve our goals, right? Also, too, we all hit those difficult situations when we are doing something like changing our body, changing our habits, getting out of our comfort zones. There's a lot of uncomfortableness that goes along with it. And I think a lot of us, when we think about a weight loss journey or transformation journey, we just think of the final line, and we just think about how we're going to look. We don't really think about all of the cons that go with it. And sometimes I ask people, it's like, well, what are the cons of you losing 20 pounds? They're like, what do you mean? There is no cons. There's like, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. Like, how can there possibly be any cons, right? Well, there's a lot of cons, right? Because we have to give up sometimes our favorite food, and sometimes we need to maybe exercise more, or maybe sometimes that means that we need to do a little bit less socializing and go to bed earlier. And so those things are definitely a con, right? the change in your lifestyle in that way can be a con, and sometimes we don't think about those things. So when those cons come into our life as we're going through the journey of changing our bodies, you have that support system, you have that accountability system, that buddy there to, make you see things in a different way. Because remember what the long haul is. Remember that these are the things that we need to go through to get to that goal. These are the changes that you must um, push through for you to build new habits. And so that's why all of these accountability systems really do work. And I really encourage you that if you don't have something like this in place, you should really start looking. So if you've been doing everything and nothing, well, I won't say nothing is working for you, but you're not getting the results that you want because maybe you feel like you're self-sabotaging yourself, or maybe you feel because you are not strong enough to hold yourself accountable on the weekends, then it's really important for you to seek out other types of support systems. And that's why accountability is so awesome. Let's get into about all the myths about accountability and support system. I have heard so many, and it's not like the myth I think that professionals make, but it's more like the myth that we make in our head about what accountability really is. So accountability for some people is like if it's not strict and it's not to the point and it's not hard and I'm not bleeding and sweating, then it's not true accountability. And I really did try to advise people away from that way of thinking because it is going to be hard already. It is going to be tough. So why would you want to make the process more painful for yourself, right? There are definitely some people who have that personality that like things like really hard and they strive on that. And I think there's a very small population of people like that. And I think that we all try to be that person because of what social media is pretty much putting out there, that we're strong, we're invincible, we can do it and we can push through it and we have no feelings and nothing's going to stop us. But the reality of the truth is when you see those Pinterest and you see those Facebook ads or just like even magazines of these amazing bodies that we so desire to look like, there's nobody telling you what it took for them to get there. Like, they're not telling you the pain points, they're not telling you the emotional days that they had, they're not telling you about all the binges that they had, and maybe even like, counseling that they have gone through just to get to where they are. So there's a lot of work that is required to get to that type of physique, and none of us talk about it. I love talking about it because it's reality and it's part of life, and I think it's important to talk about it because, like I said, I'm even going through it myself. Right, me gaining more weight is very difficult for my psychological brain because I've always been, well, I can't say I've always been, but I have maintained a weight for so long after my heavier years of being younger that me going back there, I feel like that little girl again, right? And that's not a great feeling, but um, I need to know that internally with my accountability coach that she is teaching me that this is not the be all ends all, right? This is just a process that is going to help me get to my goal. And so, your goal doesn't have to be the goal of your coach. Your goal needs to be your goal. And that's what's really important. So if you seek out a coach that does not understand what you want and wants to steer you in a different direction or in the road path that they want to go on, that is not a good coach. You need to look elsewhere. Even a friend or an accountability partner, whoever you decide to tag along with you, if they're totally going against you and you can already see red flags, don't go with that person, go with somebody else because they're really probably going to do more harm to you than they are going to do good. Um, Having someone close to you can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. And the reason why is because if you are just setting roadblocks around just like, oh, I need someone who lives with me or someone who's my neighbor, someone who's really close to hold me accountable. Um, I think the biggest reason why people do that is because they maybe need more accountability from that person versus their internal self. And a lot of the accountability needs to be yourself as well. It's good to have an anchor, it's good to have that support system, but a lot of the internal drive needs to come from you. And it shouldn't really matter how far or near that person lives from you because sometimes all you need is just that phone call. Sometimes all you need is just that little push and that motivation, and that could be as a simple text. So don't stop your goals because you don't have an accountability system that is close or near to you. That's not necessary. It has to be a family member or friend. Like again, that could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. Friends and family are usually more loving and forgiving than strangers or some, maybe acquaintance that you know or a higher coach. I find that Higher coaches work better just because they take the emotions right out of it. It's not that they don't care about you, but it's just they have empathy for you. They understand you because most coaches have gone through the same thing that you have. But what the difference is that they try to make you see yourself in a different light than all about emotions, like taking that emotion out and stepping out of your emotions and looking in and seeing the reality of things. And so family members tend to do the same thing that we do to ourselves, is that we look at ourselves as an emotional being versus just a being. And when it comes to weight loss and transformation, your emotions are going to set you back more than actually help you, especially because as women, we go through more that emotional whirlwind that is not positive, that is really negative. We talk bad about ourselves, and we sabotage ourselves, and we convince ourselves that we need this food to feel better, but really it's actually going to make us feel worse in long term. And so families have a hard time dealing with that because, they don't want to see you go through pain, right? And so they're like, oh, just have the cupcake. You'll be fine. You're not going to lose it. Like, just get back on tomorrow. And so sometimes they're not the best encouragement. They're not the best accountability. And someone came to me and said, Veronica, I really, really, really want this cupcake. And, I'm just like dying over here. And so I would talk them through and say, well, why do you want that cupcake? And like, because I just want it. I was like, no, like, are you hungry? Like, no, I'm not hungry. So if you're not hungry, it's because you're having a craving. So if you're having a craving, it's because you're having an emotional reaction. What happened? What happened that makes you want to use that cupcake as a soothing device, as an emotional blanket? What is it? And so we talk through it. And by the time we end up talking through it, then I ask him again, so do you really still want that cupcake, or can we find another measure to help you process through that emotion? Like, can we go maybe for a brisk walk? Can we go maybe for a run with the dogs? Can we maybe journal? Like, maybe can we just have a cup of tea, or maybe meditate? Or is there something else that we can do to replace that emotional blanket of food that you have been using for so many years that is not helping you? Um, and if that person says to me, yeah, I just still want the cupcake, and I'm like, okay, so if you eat that cupcake, you do realize the consequences behind it. You're probably going to feel good at the beginning. You're going to feel so satisfied, right? Like that woo feeling is going to come down you from your hormones and your endorphins in your brain, but then you realize that that's going to be really short lived, right? So you're going to feel guilty later. You're going to wonder why you did it. And it could also like really spin back at you in a very negative way where you're like, screw it, I already messed up. I'm going to eat everything in sight now and I'll start fresh on Monday, right? And you can literally gain a lot of weight in a very short period of time if you keep yo-yo dieting, if you keep going back and forth, right? And so that's why sometimes family and friends are not the best accountability source because they don't they don't have the skills, they can't talk you through it. They don't let you see the situation outside, right? They're an emotional being with you and they just want you to not suffer. Other things is like, okay, so I said, like, I feel personally that coaches are the best ones to hire, but not necessarily always true. I mean, if you don't have the finances, then you don't have the finances, and you try to make best of what you have around you, which is better than nothing. Most people do better with some type of accountability versus just themselves, right? And then setting like rules and guidelines, like nothing has to be black and white. You have to be able to be flexible, and the accountability partner that you choose needs to have that flexibility, needs to have that, wave effect, like wave along with you with your lifestyle. So if you're having your period, for example, and you have always eaten a abundant amount of chocolate, saying no, you can't eat chocolate at all, that's not going to happen, right? So a good coach is going to be like, okay, well, how much chocolate did you used to eat? I used to eat like, I don't know, 2 bars, like big bars. Okay, so let's try to like maybe make it a bar and a half this month. Okay, and eat it slower and maybe eat it more mindfully. And then we cut you down, right? And so we try to make sure that you eat less of it and less of it and then eventually get off of it. That is a good accountability coach. That is a good support system that's going to help you get through things longer term, lifelong, instead of just a light switch, just switch you on and off and think that you're a machine, because we're not. We are human beings, right? We have feelings, and a lot of the reasons why we eat and why it's so hard for us to hold ourselves accountable and fall off the wagon is because there's so much emotion involved in it. And that's the reason why accountability is so important. And hopefully I cleared up some of the myths for you guys on that. Okay, so strategies on finding accountability. I mean, there's accountability systems all around you. I think what we need to first start off doing is stop being so judgmental of ourselves and understand that even though maybe you want to get healthier, transform your body, or lose weight, or whatever your health goal is, there's hundreds of people around you that want the exact same thing, and they also feel alone. They feel like they're the only ones going through these problems. They're the only ones going through this emotion, and we are not. We're not the only ones. So there's abundant amount of people around you. I just find that when you are out looking for accountability systems, I think there's a couple of things that are really important to consider before making up your mind. Number one is don't close any doors. Okay, so I mean, if there's a lot of people that want to help you with accountability, the more the better. I think number two, it's really important that you announce that you want to do something incredible, like be healthy. I think that's an amazing thing to everybody, because the more you keep it to yourself or just keep it to a small amount of people, you're literally what you're doing is you're giving yourself an escape, um, an escape door, an exit door to say, I'm going to hang around these people because today I feel naughty, and today I'm going to hang around with these people because I feel good. And so that's not really a good scenario, because you're literally lying to yourself. Like, you're creating an accountability system that's kind of like at war, right? And so you don't want to create that. So announcing it to everybody is really important. Keeping it a secret, like, why would you want to keep it a secret? You only keep things as a secret because you know you're doing something wrong, right? So announce your great expectations about yourself. Announce your great goal that you have. Um, Another thing too is I think it's really important that when you seek out accountability partners, and you think you need to look at your weaknesses and try to pull somebody in that has the strengths of your weaknesses. So somebody has a stronger suit of the areas that you're weak in. So for example, if you're really weak in cooking in the kitchen, then try to find an accountability partner that you know that maybe would complement that for you, that will maybe help you in the kitchen. They'll probably give you tips and recipes and stuff like that. If you're a person that's really lacking in the physical activity and you always promise yourself that this Monday I'm going to start working out, and you just never get your butt out of bed, then maybe you need to find an accountability partner that you know, this girl that runs every single morning, and you know she's going to be knocking on your door because that's just who she is and she's committed. And you know, maybe hers is just the nutrition part and you have good nutrition, right? And so you see how you can complement each other. So I think those things are vitally important. And so the same thing when you are hiring a coach, you need to ask and see if that coach is versatile, right? So if that coach only does fitness and they have no idea about nutrition, or they just studied the Canada Health Food Guide of Nutrition within the fitness program that is out there, and your biggest struggle is nutrition, is that really a good coach to hire? Absolutely not. You're going to be wasting your money. You're going to be very disappointed, right? And so you need to look at those kind of things. Um, so other things that where you can find accountability, so you can find like a household member, right? A partner or spouse. Those are always great. I love partner and spouse accountability. I think they're awesome because you're pretty much, you have a cheerleader beside you 24/7, right? Like when you're cooking, when you wake up, when you're on a phone call, when you're saying good night and I love you. I think it's such an amazing accountability system. And most of us, like I admit it, most of us women have men that need to get healthy too, right? And I just think it's so unfair that um, why don't men care about their health the way women do? You know, and we're so trying to strive for something better, to look good, to feel good, and obviously they benefit too, right? So why not them, and why not pull them into that positive energy? And it just a matter of asking you guys. So let's get our partners involved. I think that's a good idea. I think I'm gonna talk to my husband tonight. Oh my God, that's another lecture. How to convince your husband to do things that they don't want to do. Maybe a neighbor is a great thing too. Pack up with a good friend, a best friend, be somebody that you really trust and she's loyal to you. Maybe pairing up with somebody who's maybe not such a close acquaintance, because remember, they're not going to have that emotional side, so they may be even a better accountability system. And even if, say, you tried a family that didn't work out, you tried a neighbor that didn't work out, well, go outside of the box and try something a little bit different. Someone who is not so attached to you and that you're not so attached to either. Joining Facebook challenges and groups and accountabilities, those are awesome. I love those because I think it's so inspiring. Those Facebook groups and pages are just so exciting because they're very motivating, and I love being involved in them just to listen in on what people's struggles are and what they're doing and how everybody supports each other. So it is a great community. So definitely use those social media platforms for that. um, maybe you can become an accountability system for somebody else. Maybe you don't need to lose weight, but you can help somebody else achieve their goals, which is a phenomenal thing to do just as a human being, right? Joining a gym and group classes is also a good way because you're building that community and sense of um, um, like that sense of community, just that feeling that you're not alone, right? And I think a lot of people struggle because we feel like we're alone, but we're really not. There's tons of support out there. And then lastly is hiring a coach, which I feel is one of the best things to do, especially if you've tried many things and you have maybe dieting for such a long time and just really not getting results. It's really important because an expert is really going to give you a different point of view on things, maybe hormonal, chemically, that are happening in your body that a friend or a neighbor or an acquaintance cannot give you because they just don't have that knowledge. So those are all the strategies on finding accountability. So you guys, there is accountability everywhere. You just need to open your eyes and you need to get out of your comfort zone and ask for help. So here's a little bit of statistics for you guys to show you that accountability really does work. The diabetic research went out and did some accountability tracking with various types of people to just log in what they eat. And so they can be a little bit more aware of what they're actually feeding their bodies and how it's reacting to their outcome of the goals. And so what happened is we had some people who just like did not track at all. We had some people that were inconsistent trackers, and then we had ones that were consistent trackers. So unbelievable results. The people who did not track at all, they lost about 2 pounds, which is not bad, right? And this is a matter of 6 weeks. The people who tracked inconsistently, like here, yes, a little bit no, maybe they logged in maybe a couple of meals a day or just a couple of meals in the week. Well, they were only able to get to a 3 pound loss, and those who logged every single day, right? I don't know if they put in every single thing that they put in their mouth, but those who logged in every single day became so aware of their habits that they started changing as they went along, and they lost 9 pounds, you guys. So that is absolutely amazing, right? And so as you can see that, coaching and accountability really does work, right? And so what I do for my clients or people who come to me who are looking for this type of service is what I call transformation coaching. And transformation coaching is just a type of service that holds you accountable with your goals, and it teaches you how to find an accountability system that works for you, and then does many test runs with you to see what holds you responsible long term, like life term, right? Because nobody wants to just drop 10 pounds and then gain it all back. It's about taking it off and keeping it off in a healthy, happy way. You don't want to be dieting for the rest of your life, right? And so that way we can help you manage your weight long term. And so transformation coaching is exactly that. It's not specifically me telling you like don't eat this, don't eat that, do this. It's pretty much like, what's going on? What are your roadblocks? What is happening internally in you? What do you feel when the situation happens? What do you eat when that happens? So, and then looking at your progress and looking at your log, your diet, and try to help you be more aware of what you're eating and how we can transition that into a healthier lifestyle. And then also with movement as well. And then lifestyle things like sleeping and teaching you how all of these things really affect your body and your results. So accountability, like I told you, is absolutely awesome. And I have been doing accountability coaching with clients for the last 14 years. I have been a holistic nutritionist for 14 years, and then I decided to be a personal fitness trainer about 8, 9 years ago. And the reason why I decided to take on personal training was because I was coaching a lot of my clients to get healthy through nutrition, and I saw a scope of different clients. It wasn't just weight loss. Actually, weight loss kind of became my expertise towards like these last maybe 6 years. But it was mostly just helping people eat healthy, understand food better, understand nutrients in general, and learning how to cook and helping people with diabetes and blood sugar issues and blood pressure and cancer patients. Remember my first client having lupus, which was wow, holy smokes, I couldn't believe the turnaround she did in such a short time just with food, you guys. Like, it was just unbelievable. And so as I started getting into weight loss, I started noticing that my clients were just, they were just interested in losing weight, and they were losing the weight, but then they started seeing that, they were just a smaller, skinnier version of themselves, but not tight. Like, they just lost a lot of their toneness of their body, especially women and men too, right? And so then they would go out and seek a personal trainer because they knew that they need to tighten up their muscles. And then they would come back like maybe a year later and they would be bigger than when I saw them. And I'm like, what happened? And they're obviously came back to see me because they needed me to help them lose weight again. And so I quickly realized that a lot of the coaches out there, a lot of the fitness trainers out there only really have Canada Health Food Guide in terms of nutrition. So they're really not able to help clients achieve their weight loss goals based on individuality, based on hormonal maybe disruptions in their body, maybe because they have a slow metabolism and these coaches don't really know how to deal with that. Or other areas, right? Like lifestyle factors, moms who have 4 kids and they're just running around everywhere. Like, how do you teach that client to eat? And so that's when I decided, what, I need to be a fitness trainer because I want to make sure that my clients are getting everything in their package. They're getting, the fitness, that they're getting the nutrition, that they're getting the lifestyle coaching, that they're getting the mental part, that they're getting a little bit more beyond than just the regular nutritionist, maybe because they need some um, help with their hormones and they need to, get that back in balance. And so that's when everything changed in the way that I would help coach my clients. It really did a turnaround, and I was able to help them so much more than I was able before. And so this picture here with all these people are my wonderful clients and more, who I have helped transform their bodies to make them feel better about themselves. Some of these people joined my group fitness classes that I had in the summer. And we just created such a great community, and that accountability piece is just so important. And so hiring a coach sometimes is one of the best things that you can do because it really makes you see things differently than what you see them now. And you can stop being frustrated because when you only have so many tools in your tool belt, it's really difficult to find more tools because you just don't have any more tools, right? When someone comes in with a fresh brain or maybe with a different idea or with more education, and they give you different types of strategies and you see that they start working, you start getting excited, right? And that's what this is all about. It's supposed to be an exciting journey, not a depressing one. So let's get into benefits and the services that are included in my type of coaching. So the benefits pretty much is you become more educated through a professional. So I educate you a lot about your hormones, about things that are happening, why you're plateauing in the kitchen, a lot of things that we lack as individuals to really get to our goals. You learn what roadblocks are limiting your goals. So I help you get through that and make you see things a little bit differently than what you're seeing them right now. We help you build that self-confidence in the kitchen and in the gym. A lot of us, especially women, are afraid to lift weights. So we can build that confidence for you by building those skills. And then if you really haven't worked in the kitchen a lot or you're just really lost, we can definitely help you with that as well because I love working in the kitchen. That's why I became a nutritionist first. Having someone looking out for you. So I will always be there looking out for you, answering your questions, holding your hand when you need it, and letting go of your hands when you're ready too, right? Because it's important for you to do things on your own and to grow on your own. So that way you don't need a coach for the rest of your life. Help you expand your resources. So like I said, with the tools, like sometimes we only have a certain amount of tools and you don't have any more. You just don't know where to pull from. Well, pulling from different brains is always the best. Help to motivate you. I'm a firm believer that I can't motivate you, but I can help you learn how to build motivation in yourself. And that is what we do through coaching. And I help support and I understand you. So I do understand what it's like to be overweight. I was overweight, maybe not for a long time, but I was overweight and I didn't feel the best. And I think that's the biggest thing is I don't think it's the amount of weight that you have on the scale. It's the weight that you have on yourself internally. Like, how do you feel about yourself? And I never felt good when I was younger. And I went through all those battles, and I'm still going through those battles, you guys, as a coach. So that is why I hired a coach, right? Because I needed that. So I'm definitely there to support and motivate you and understand you and to help you overcome obstacles. So this is the hardest part. Like the initial weight loss or the initial transformation is usually pretty easy for new people who have never done anything before. You literally have to do very little to get big gains. But if you have been yo-yo dieting for years, and if you have been in this game for a long time and you are struggling to get that last weight off or struggling to get more definition, then this is where it's important where you have a professional coming in and helping you overcome those obstacles, because you have already done everything that you know how to do. And if you keep doing what you're doing and you're not getting results, what's the point of keep doing it, right? You got to look outside. The services that I provide is your first meeting with me is a half-hour call where we help create your goals, right? And we help you create an accountability calendar. So what that means, it means that we look at your goals, we set it up on a calendar and say, when are we going to achieve these goals, right? And so that way we can break it down for you to be more realistic and you don't feel so overwhelmed and so much pressure. The more pressure you feel, the more you are probably prone to fail. Trust me, I've seen it happen over and over again. So being smart and laying out your goals is really important. A lot of us don't like doing smart goal setting, but it is really important. And if you missed the first lecture about goal setting, please go back and view it because it's very important. It talks to you a lot about mindset. Second, we are going to go and I'm going to help you assist you in nutrition plans, right? So try to help you find a plan that works for you and get you to just start consistently recording what you're eating, and then just you see how that makes you feel, right? So if you find that you're having food cravings, then maybe we need to change your breakfast. If that you're finding that you are starving in the morning but have very little appetite at night, then maybe we need to change the way that you are pairing your foods up, right? And so those are things that I can help you with. You get a weekly follow-up via email. So every week I send you an email just to check up on seeing how you're doing. And you can also do a private messaging with me through the app that you have access to, which is Bodies by Vivi app, where I see everything that you're doing. With that, you can send me a private message. If you don't want to send me a message through the Facebook page, because we are going to have that as well as an accountability and community support page. So any type of questions that you don't feel comfortable sharing with other people, definitely you can message me privately and I will answer you. So you're literally working with a coach here, you guys. It's not like just some, PDF program that you're buying and you're never working with somebody again. It's like I am coaching you through your journey. You get access to all of my lectures for free. And then you also get a weekly nutrition and fitness newsletter and recipes every single week to help you with your progress, to educate you more, to motivate you more, to give you more tools and recipes underneath your tool belt that you are going to need for a lifelong journey, right? Because that's what it is. I mean, I don't think we're doing this just to lose 10 pounds and then just go back to our old habits, because you will gain those 10 pounds, right? Because it's what those habits that you have installed now is what has caused you to feel the way that you do. And so we need to teach you a new way of living. Okay. So those are the benefits and services that are included in my transformation coaching. So if you guys are ready to work with me and allow me to be your transformation coach, I have a wonderful special deal for you. So my regular paying clients pay $250 a month for this type of service. Just think about everything that you're getting, right? You're getting coaching, you're getting follow-ups every single week. You got someone looking at your diet, right? You got someone coaching you through their plateaus and telling you exactly what you need to do and how you need to change it. You get a community support team, right? And then you get all of those wonderful lifestyle changes that you get in benefit of being held accountable properly through the journey of being healthier long term. So, but now you can actually try us out, or you can try me out for only $99 a month, or what if you can upgrade and get 1 month for free when you do the $199 package. So you get 3 months of service for $199, and just remember, my regular paying clients pay $250 per month. So that is a really, really good price. You guys, I'm so excited about this because I really believe that this is going to change your goals. This is going to allow you to see things in a completely different way. This is probably the coaching that you have needed maybe right from the beginning. If you've been spinning your wheels, let's stop spinning our wheels and reach out towards something that is really going to help you. I love helping women change their bodies because I know what it was like. I was in that seat before. It was horrible. I felt like I was spinning my wheels and I wasn't getting anywhere. That's why I went out and seeked out education for myself. I did it to help myself first. And then I realized how much I was able to help myself and how much this information was lacking from so many women's lives. And so many women are just out there suffering for no reason when things can just be so much smoother, right? And so that's what I'm offering you. I'm offering you freedom to transform your body with the proper coaching. Also, if you guys purchase this program in the next 24 hours, you get to get my free belly fat loss recipe. It's something that I drink every single morning. It's amazing and it tastes pretty damn good in my opinion. The reason why I drink it and the reason why I recommend this is because it really helps to raise up your metabolism. It helps to reduce that mom tum. It helps to reduce bloating, which most of us as women have, and it helps to aid the liver, which is our master gland. And these are really simple ingredients that you can buy at the grocery store. So if you sign up in the next 24 hours, you get this PDF recipe booklet for free, and it's really going to change your health, you guys. It's so easy to make, but yet the results are awesome. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me today on accountability and how you can get better results. If you are interested in any of the services that I provide, the links are here for you. So the $99 package, and then we have the $199 package. All you need to do is follow the link, process your purchase, and then we will get started and I will set up your phone call as soon as possible. I so look forward to talking with you guys. Remember, every single week we're going to have new lectures, so stay tuned. You can find my lectures on my website, bodiesbyvv.ca. You can find it on YouTube, Bodies by VV, and then you can also find them on Facebook, on my Facebook page under the video section. Okay, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will be talking to you soon.